Hey BookTube, this is Tag Week, Day 2, Part 2.
I got my ticket for the long way round.
Earlier today I did Part 1 of this tag, which is the Sisterhood of the World Vloggers Award tag. And this is Part 2, and I was tagged by Verr, or Veronica, at Verr is Awkward. And Verr is not awkward. She has a wonderful channel. I love watching her. So go check her out. She's right here. And you can click on this and be taken to her Sisterhood of the World Vloggers Award tag. Okay, she has 10 questions for me, and then at the end of this video, I will nominate one person, and I have 10 questions for them. So here they are. She asks, what book has been on your TBR the longest, and why haven't you read it yet? Ugh, what a question. Here's what I came up with. The Kill Order by James Dashner, which is the prequel to The Maze Runner, and I haven't read it because I don't care. I didn't like that series all that well anyway, and I just don't care. Oh well. Next up, she asks, show us your favorite and least favorite book cover. Well, I'm going to do this two ways. I'm going to show you the ones I have in print, and then I'm going to show you an audio cover, because the nice thing about audio books is that you can use whatever cover you want. You just have to find the image online. So if I like the UK cover better, then I just use that. Well, on audio, my favorite would be Earthbound by April Lynn Pike. It's a beautiful cover, as you can see. And the thing about it is that it's gone through a cover change. This is the old cover. This is the new cover. Ugh, this is just stupid looking. This is just beautiful. Okay, so in print, my favorite is the Darkest Mind series by Alexandra Bracken. These books are just gorgeous. That's The Darkest Minds. This is Never Fade. I love this one. And then In the Afterlight. They're just gorgeous books. The covers are just so indicative of the story, and they look great on the spines, and they're just beautiful. They're just beautiful covers. And then my least favorite on audio would be Open Minds by Susan K. Quinn. I think I haven't read this book yet because I just don't like the cover. I don't like people on covers anyway, so no. And in print, it has got to be Rush Too Far. Oh, this book is embarrassing to own. You know, I need to redesign this cover and just cover it up. The spine isn't bad, but this, oh no. Then she asks, who is an author that you will always read no matter what they write? Colleen Hoover. I will read anything Colleen Hoover writes. I love her. She's a new adult romance writer, and she's fabulous. Then she asks, what are your favorite fictional siblings? My favorites are from the book Little Women, and they are the four sisters who are Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. This book is wonderful. My mom read it to me when I was a little girl, and I love it. And you know, the thing about this book is that when I was growing up, I always wanted to have a family of girls or siblings that were really tight, like these girls are, and I do. Isn't that wonderful? I have McKenna, Emma, Mia, Janna, and Mikayla, and they are all really tight. Best friends, and I love that. I got my own Little Women. Next up, she asks, what is a book or series that you feel is way too underrated? Well, you know, I have a couple that I always talk about, but I don't talk about this that much, or haven't yet. And that's the Cricket series by Amy Bartol, and that is Under Different Stars and Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars just came out, and in fact, I'm listening to that right now, and I just got this in the mail. I love this series. It's funny, it's adventurous, it's romantic, it's got all these great things in it. And more people need to be reading it. She's self-published, which is probably why there hasn't been a whole lot of hype. But there needs to be, because this is really, really good. And the people that I know that read this kind of stuff would love this. I know they would. So let's talk about this more and get this author more out there, because she writes great stuff. And then Verr has some female and sisterhood related questions that she was inspired to ask by Sylvia at Wish Fulfillment. I love this. I'm not a feminist per se, but I am certainly in favor of women being empowered. So anyway, she asks, who is a female character that you feel was written in a way a female should be written? Alexia Terabati from the Parasol Protectorate series by Gail Carriger. This character is a woman who is a spinster. She's 26 years old in Victorian England, I think. And her family has pretty much written her off because they think, I mean, it's England, so everybody needs to be very pale and very petite. And she's kind of olive-skinned. She's kind of got a Mediterranean look about her because her father was Italian. And she's old and hasn't gotten married. And she's very opinionated, and she's very funny, too. But she's just got all these qualities, and they've just said, you're old, you're ugly, she's really curvy, you're fat, no. And while she has been affected by that somewhat, she's very self-confident. And so she has trouble believing that anyone would want her, but at the same time, she thinks she's a good person, and she has a lot to offer. So I think the way that Gail Carriger wrote her character was spectacular. Independent woman, don't need no man, you know, very confident, really good character. And that's a very funny series if you want a good one. Next, she asks, name a female character that you feel portrays women in an inappropriate or negative light. Well, you know, I read all of Abby Glein's books, and I have to say that some of those women tended to be not well portrayed. And I think the worst was Emily in Kiro's Emily, which is book 10 in the Rosemary Beach series. And this is technically a novella, but it's counted as book 10. This was a character who, she was beautiful, gorgeous, but very, very hesitant and not self-confident at all. And this rock star sees her, waltzes into her life, and just takes over. And he, you know, starts dictating to her where she can go, where she's going to live, who she's going to be with. Now, you know, he takes good care of her. He's very protective, and he is very much a guy that wants the best things for her. He wants to give her everything, and he wants to protect her from all the bad things. But really, I mean, she has no freedom. She has no independence beyond this guy, and she lets it all happen. And I think, she's not even a doormat. She's a dish rag. I mean, really? Oh, no. She was not well portrayed. Next, she asks, who's a booktuber that you watch every single video that they post? Well, I have a list of them. When they appear in my feed, I immediately go watch them first. Some of the booktubers that I always watch most recently have been Helene at Helene Jeppesen. I love her. She's Danish. Joe at Joe Reads Books, who I love Joe for, you know, multiple reasons. Janna at Janna Marie, new booktuber that I just found and I absolutely adore. Brock at Let's Read. Oh, that sense of humor. He is so good. He's just so, he's got that dry wit that I absolutely adore, so love him. And Susie Reed. Susie and I are not friends. You know, she doesn't know me and I don't know her, but I love her videos. And so when I see her in my feed, I always watch her. And of course, Weibke at One Book, One Review. I love her. She and I have become friends, and one day we are going to sit down and have coffee, either in Germany or here in the U.S., and we're going to solve all the world's problems. I just love her. Next, Veronica asks, who is a booktuber that you admire? Well, before I answer this question, I have to tell you about the way Veronica answered this question. I was really just floored when she answered this because she said that it was me. She admired me because she said she's like a mom. You know, in my life, I've always wanted to be a mom, and I couldn't be a mom for about 3 years because I had all kinds of trouble getting pregnant. But the culmination of that was 5 girls that I desperately love, and I really wanted them to turn out to be really great people. I felt a huge responsibility to make that happen. And, you know, you never make that happen altogether, but they are incredible people. They are incredible people with wonderful friends, and they're beautiful, gorgeous, talented, and I'm so proud of that. So for her to say that she admires me, mainly because she thinks of me as a mom, and, you know, I have the wisdom that a mom has. You know, my mom has wisdom. I don't know how much I have, but what a compliment. What an amazing, amazing thing to say about me. Veronica, you just made my entire life, I think, by saying that. So thank you so much. Really, thank you. That meant the world to me. Now, people I admire. There are two. First of all is Weibke at One Book One Review, and that's because she's so consistent. This woman has been on BookTube since BookTube began, pretty much. She's so able to throw out a topic and just say, here's what I've been thinking about today. What do you think? I love that. Her reviews are never more than 2 or 3 minutes long, so it's, you know, I don't know how she does that because I'm such a blabbermouth, but I love her. I love her and I admire her so much, also because of the things in her life that she's doing and has accomplished. And I think, you know, there's just a whole lot there to learn from and to admire. So the other person I admire is Estelle at Audimenta. She has not made a video in a long time, but I keep up with her on Twitter and Instagram. This is a woman who at 20 years old, she moved from France to Tokyo just because she liked Tokyo, just because she liked Japan. She thought it was really cool. She picked up and just moved. And I wish I had done that when I was 20 years old. I wish I had had the courage to do that. Because to leave everything that's familiar and all your friends and all your family and go to a place that has not just a different culture, but a different language, different customs. You don't know if you're going to say or do something that's going to be the wrong thing. Where are you going to live? Where are you going to work? Oh my gosh. For her to just have picked up and gone and done that, I just admire that so much. She is amazing and I love her to pieces. And lastly, number 10, what are your opinions on female representation in young adult books? You know, this is a really good question, and I'm glad she asked it. And I think women authors, I think sometimes can try too hard, especially in YA, to give us the perfect young woman with, you know, she's independent, she's capable, she's intelligent, she's kind of a badass, you know, she can shoot guns and fry up bacon and, you know, all those sorts of things. But where I think that they err sometimes is on the side of femininity, because I think there's a lot to be said for the feminine, softer side of a woman. And maybe I say that because I'm a girly girl, but I just think that there's real value in that. So I think there's a real balance to be found there between all of those qualities. And I think that women authors in particular are really striving these days to provide us with good examples of admirable young women. And I think they're doing it. I've read a lot of characters that I think are very admirable. And I appreciate the fact that they will also show their faults and not portray them as perfect. But, you know, especially when they give us a character who is able to overcome a lot in any way, shape, or form. I mean, whether it's a contemporary book or a fantasy book or a sci-fi book, it really doesn't matter. Just the idea that women are overcoming obstacles and succeeding and striving, I think that's amazing. I raised 5 girls. I'm not raising them anymore, but I am admiring them as amazing adults. I think that they are, you know, I said before that I think they're amazing, talented, beautiful, intelligent. You know, I could go pretty much on all week about them, but they are those kind of women. And I struggled to find those examples. But I think I did, because they turned out really well. And, you know, they played with Barbies, but we understood that Barbie was not the consummate woman. And, you know, we watched a lot of Disney princesses, but even Disney is kind of starting to get a clue about that. So, yeah. Hermione Granger. She was a good example. So that is the Sisterhood of the World Vloggers Award tag. I am going to tag Bridget at Brebook Reads. And my 10 questions for her are, first of all, what does your family say about how much you read? Number 2, book or movie? Would you rather read the book or see the movie, or read the book before you see the movie, or only see the movie, or only read the book? Yeah. Number 3, do you hate being spoiled for an ending? Do you hate that? I mean, I love being spoiled in general, and I don't mind being spoiled for an ending, but do you hate it? Do you not mind? How do you feel about it? Number 4, what's your favorite classic? Number 5, what is your favorite subject in nonfiction? Number 6, what's one other thing that you would rather do than read? Number 7, what do you wish you could change about your BookTube channel? Or what are some changes that you have in store for your BookTube channel? Number 8, do you write reviews on Goodreads? Do you publish them to a blog? Or do you only do reviews here on BookTube? Or do you even do reviews at all? How do you feel about that? Number 9, what is your favorite book with a dog or a cat or a bird or a pet of some sort? Yeah, what's your favorite book with a pet? Number 10, what is your favorite cookbook? And you are allowed to say Pinterest if you like. Those are my 10 questions. That's who I tagged. This has been a blast. And I will be back tomorrow with day 3 of Tag Week. And I will see you then. Thanks for watching.
I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.